Hi there, welcome. Laura Swan here again. I am a women's transformational coach and a life and leadership mentor. I am the writer and author of Reclaim Your Power and the Reclaim Your Power Pathway program and circle, and the founder of the Creatrix Mastermind Experience. And I am excited to talk to you today about a topic that I got a lot of requests for. So I recently put out on Facebook asking what women would like to hear about, what kind of topics are they most interested in. And I had Lucia, Nicola Evans, and Drea Mulder, and actually several women ask how to create balance when you're trying to do it all. And that seems to be a question that a lot of women have. And I'm going to say that's because we are trying to do more than we've ever tried to do in probably human history as women. You know, one of the amazing benefits of the women's empowerment movement and of the feminist movement is that women realize that we can do it all. We realize that we can work, we can be doctors, we can raise babies, we can be authors, we can do it all. Like, we have no limitations on who we can be. But then once we start trying to do it all, it can actually be a little bit overwhelming. Wow, I'm trying to raise a baby, and I'm trying to excel in my work, and I'm trying to express certain parts of myself that want to be expressed, and I feel like there's not room for it all. And this is actually one of the biggest questions and topics that we tackle and that we help women transform in the Reclaim Your Power program. This is what that program was created for, was to help women create balance and to reclaim the parts of themselves that feel unexpressed. So that is a big part of what we do. But in this video, I'm going to talk about specifically some tools and tips for what you can do to help create balance in your life. And they may not be ones that you expected, but I'm going to share them anyway. So one of the most important things that you can do, number one, is to get clear on what your needs are. Get clear on your desires. Get clear on what you need in order to feel good and balanced in your life. Do you need time with family, time with friends, time with your children? Do you need time alone? Does meditation serve you? Do you need to be exercising? This is a needs assessment, and we do this fully in the Reclaim Your Power program in the section on the Queen archetype, on discovering what your sacred needs are, creating healthy boundaries, learning how to take care of yourself really in the most empowering way. And this is the number one step in how to create any sort of balance and fulfillment in your life, is you have to get clear on what your needs are. And not just like, I need 6 hours of sleep to survive at night. Get clear on what's going to make you actually feel good and thrive, not just survive. So your needs, there's like, you know, a few different tiers here. There's like base level to just survive and make it in the world and not basically fall apart. Then there's like, okay, I'm doing pretty well and this is good. I'm feeling pretty good. And then there's thriving. There's really feeling like this is a juicy, amazing life that I'm living. And so I would get clear on even those 3 levels, and for sure the top 2 levels of what's going to feel good, to where you're actually feeling like my life is awesome, I'm feeling great, and then I'm thriving, you know, like I'm expressing myself as an artist, I'm having time for friends, I'm having time to exercise, I'm able to see the therapist that I want to see. Like, get clear on what your needs are and be honest about it. Don't cut yourself short on this, of what your sacred needs are, in order to feel balanced. And when I say balanced, I actually think a better word is to be fully self-expressed. Because to be honest, this is the part maybe you're not expecting. Number 2 is I'm going to ask you to embrace imbalance and chaos. Because I know in my life, I am a mother of 2 children. I run my own business. I have a husband. I have friends that I love. I run women's circles. I have artistic, expressions that I love to do. I love to write. I love to read. I love to learn. I love to experience healing. I love to go to the beach. I love to have nature in my life. I have a lot of things that I love to have in my life. And there are times when my business demands a lot of me in preparing for a program that's going to launch, like I'm doing right now. We're going to be opening up registration for Reclaim Your Power. And so it's busier now than it is in usual times. There are times in our life where we have to put on the gas pedal, and we have to embrace that it's going to take some warrior-esque strength to really get through this time. And when we say balance, I think there's a misconception that balance means that we are zen and relaxed and everything is just quiet. That's not what balance is. Balance means that the different parts of ourselves have an expression in our life. Sometimes that part of yourself may be screaming and raging and getting out your wild woman, and that's healthy and that's good. And sometimes that balance might mean sitting in quiet meditation, and that's what's needed from you right now. And so being willing to embrace that sometimes our life is going to be imbalanced in order to create an overall balance of having all of our needs met, of having all parts of ourselves expressed. Sometimes, if you're a student, you may pull an all-nighter in order to do well on a test so that your overall grade point average will be good, but it's not sustainable. And that's what we have to know, that embracing imbalance doesn't mean that you're okay with having a life of all chaos. It just means that life is going to be crazy sometime, especially if you're a parent or you're running a business. Life gets crazy sometimes, and I think to be honest with ourselves, that balance looks, don't get stuck in a trap that balance looks a certain way, that it means that you're going to be calm all the time. Calm inside, perhaps yes, and be in a state of trust in the flow of life. Yes, that's a form of balance, but it may also mean getting wild and crazy and committed and pushing through some major things that need to happen in order to create an overall balance in your life of what you truly want and desire. And so the other piece that is important is, in order to really create the balance that you want, in order to create this this expression of all that you desire in your life, that you have to get fierce about your time. You have to get fierce about what you allow in and what you don't, and get protective of your energy. You'll notice that things can get really out of balance if you start to let yourself be pulled into projects or relationships or situations where your boundaries are not healthy and where you're not saying no when you know you really need to be saying yes. And so this is invoking the warrior goddess. This is something we do also in Reclaim Your Power, is invoking that energy inside you to know how to say no and to protect fiercely what it is you do want to have in your life. From a place of fierce self-love, to know how to protect your time, to know how to protect your visions and your dreams, and to not give up no matter what it takes. You have to get fierce. And in that fierceness, there's this rest into knowing that you are doing all that your heart desires, and that you're not letting other people, projects, situations leach from your energy. This is really getting clear on what our energy leaks are. We can't create balance in our life if we have energy leaks everywhere that are not really our authentic desires. If it's not something that's a yes for you in your life, a hell yes for you, then it shouldn't be there. And there's ways that you can cultivate the strength and the courage to say no to the things in your life that are no longer serving you. And it's not easy. I'm not telling you that's easy. It can actually be one of the most difficult things that we do. But that fierceness, and invoking that fierceness of protection around your sacred energy. Your energy is precious. It is sacred. We have an abundant amount of it, but I can tell you as a mom, it's precious. And if I let my energy go into things that are not really fully aligned with me, I am going to be fully depleted. Okay, now I'm making this video after a full week of my little boy being on a sleep regression and what would be kind of like a sleep strike. And so yesterday, if I had made this video, I would have been much more exhausted. I would have probably been slurring my words. My life was out of balance this week because my little boy was going through something that was really challenging. So my work, I felt like my work suffered. I had to rest a lot more. I had to take a nap during the day when I should have been working, right? So this happens. Life happens. Life shows up and it asks you to be present with what is, and to show up in the way to call forth and activate the part of yourself that is most needed in order to get through that time and to create overall balance. It was important for me to be a present mother this week and to show up for my son when he was having a difficult time. And so therefore, some other things in my life perhaps didn't get as much energy. And that's okay, because that's what happens when you are a multifaceted, multi-passionate person, and a woman who is really navigating at this time in human history, doing more than we ever have. ever have. You know, like our grandmothers were the first ones that started to say, hey, I can go to college. Hey, I can do this. And not a lot of them. And then our mothers were really the ones that more so were doing more than just the only role that was expected of them, which was being a housewife. Nothing wrong with that, nothing negative about that. But if you desire more in your life, if the roles that are being called to you are to be also an entrepreneur or to be sharing your gifts in a certain way in the world besides just in the home, then that's just not going to cut it anymore. And so I believe that this urgent call from women that we're feeling to have more balance in our life is actually the call to be more self-expressed. It's actually the call to have more parts of ourselves, our joyful part, our playful part, our lover self, our leader self, our writer self, like all the different parts of ourself, the mama who loves to be in nature and get down and dirty with the earth and to be really living life to the fullest, traveling, all of these parts of ourselves desire to be expressed. And I think that's the deeper question here, is how do we create balance of allowing all of ourselves to be in the world. And so I hope that these 3 little nuggets have been supportive for you and that they've helped you to just have maybe even a different perspective on what balance looks like. And this is one of the things that when I start working with women and they ask me, like, how do you do it all? And I really say, day by day. Day by day, I show up to what's needed, and I trust that it's going to be guided every day if I'm present and I'm aware and I'm there to answer to my life what is being asked of me, what is being called for me in this moment. And that is exactly what we cover and we go through in the Reclaim Your Power pathway. And I invite you, if this sounds interesting to you, if this sounds intriguing in any way, that you check out Reclaim Your Power today and have a look and see if this program, if this circle is something that calls to you, because we are starting very soon and it has impacted so many women's lives to be a part of this journey. And I would love to have you with us if this is something calling to you right now also. So thank you so much for listening. It's an honor to be here and sharing this, sharing this with you often and getting back into making videos. I'm excited to be doing this again, and lots of love to all of you.